All right, we're here. We're back. Welcome to Wrestling with Power. I am Mr. Mosley. He is Slick Vic. And we've watched a lot of wrestling this past week, haven't we, Slick Vic?
So much wrestling and so little time.
A lot of wrestling. Well, boys and girls, we don't have anything extra on the docket for today. All we have is reviews because we got a lot to talk about. The Royal Rumble was this past Saturday. The annual Royal Rumble. I don't know which Royal Rumble it was, but whatever. Royal Rumble in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. They built an entire 2026. They built an entire stadium to have this thing, and I thought that it was a permanent thing, but I think they're deconstructing it now. Like, I don't know what's going on over there. Craziness.
Well, it only took them, 3 weeks to build the whole thing?
Yeah, like 20 days. They put it up in 20 days.
Wow, that's got to be a record.
There's something going on. Like, is there just, like, modular stadiums now that they can just piece together and take it down and take it somewhere else? Is that how this...
Either that or a lot of manpower in a short amount of time.
Yeah,
a
maybe
a lot of manpower.
A lot of slave labor probably going on over there, but you know, who knows?
Yep.
I don't know how the Saudis work, but I'm assuming that had something to... There's no way they did that in 20 days without a little forceful do it or
yeah. Persuasive employment.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully they were paid well. Saudis usually seem to have a lot of money. Anyway, Royal Rumble was this past weekend. So obviously we're talking about it here. We've got the results of Slick Vic's picks from the Royal Rumble. We also had some surprise entrant predictions for you guys on our last episode. And we're going to go back to that, revisit that, and see if we were right about any of them. And of course, we have SmackDown, which was the day before the Rumble, and Raw, which was yesterday, as we are here on this 3rd of February, 2026, Tuesday. So, Slick Vic, do you want to go ahead and jump right into the SmackDown review, or should we first review your gimmick?
Well, since you brought it up, I feel like we should give my gimmick a little bit of an attention.
All right, let's go ahead and see what we got back here. I'm intrigued.
Oh, that wise guy,
eh? We'll fix it or break it trying. Yeah, that should be our motto. Specializing in hard-headed service.
Were you ever a Three Stooges fan?
You know, man, I really wasn't. And it's not that I didn't like them, I just never did watch them on anything. You know, I was a big fan growing up of Nickelodeon, and naturally I would watch Nick at Night as well, because, you know, whatever, 9 o'clock rolls around, they switched it over to Nick at Night, and then they would put up stuff like I Love Lucy and Laverne and Shirley and Sanford and so, like, I got to watch all of these classic TV shows by way of Nick at Night, but the Three Stooges was never one of them. I mean, I even watched like Bewitched. Like, I was completely aware of the two different Darrens that they had on Bewitched, and I have so much knowledge of this stuff because of Nick at Night. But like I say, unfortunately, Three Stooges was not one of those. Apparently, you are a fan. You have a metal sign.
I am a huge fan of the Three Stooges, the Three Wise Men. I've got Stooges stuff, not everywhere, but I got stuff. I got them around. I even got I used to have a 2025 calendar. I haven't replaced it yet with the 2026 one yet, but I like Mo, Larry, Curly, and Shemp, and we don't talk about the Joes. But I'm a big fan, and I've been a fan forever. I remember Sunday morning, it was a Sunday night, there was like a block of Stooges, followed by like an episode of Star Trek, maybe.
What channel, though? What channel? I'm talking
Oh
about.
God, Channel 8, I think it was like UPW or WPWR or something like that.
Okay, so it was more of like a sort of a regional or like a local top station.
Yeah.
See, when you said Star Trek, I watched a lot of Star Trek too, specifically The Next Generation, because Monday Night Raw would come on the new TNN or what later becomes Spike TV,
Yes.
and
Yes.
I think The Next Generation always was on
Yeah.
before Raw.
Something
So
like that. Yeah.
I was already ready to go and watch Raw. So I watched a lot of Star. I became a big Star Trek Next Generation fan because of Raw, basically.
Stick around for next week's gimmick. You might get some Star Trek memorabilia.
Nice. I have some. I've not actually went out of my way to get any Star Trek stuff, I don't think. But like growing up, I had toys from like my cousins or whatever. I would go over their house, find a toy I liked. They were older than me. They didn't play with them anymore, so they'd let me take it home. And I've got like all kinds of like little toys, little Star Trek. I've got like some little Star Trek characters that are sort of like the old Star Wars characters. They're about that same size. Somewhere. But
Okay.
when we break, I may go try to find. I think I know where I got it. I think I know where Picard is, but I don't know where. I think I had a Worf too, and I don't know where he's at.
Well, every episode, I shouldn't say they're not episodes, they're short films. For every Three Stooges short film is on YouTube in its entirety, uncut. If you ever want to watch any of them, I can send you a couple of recommendations one day and see if you have a good laugh. I show my wife them all the time. Every now and then, I'll walk up to her and just pretend to go.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. Like I'm familiar enough to know the clips and to know what you're doing there, but I don't think I've ever watched a full episode. So yeah, I'm definitely down to be cultured.
Well, speaking of Three Stooges, let's see. Is there anybody that fits the bill on Raw or SmackDown? I guess there's three members of there's four members of the Vision right now.
The closest stooge to that is Paul Heyman, but we're talking about SmackDown first, I guess. So let's go ahead and let me get down to my proper notage here. And Slick Vic, if you would, tell us what happened on SmackDown this past Friday.
All right, it was the 30th of January in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. We start with Cody Rhodes. And he comes out. The crowd is jumping up and down for Cody. He's talking about fighting Jacob Fatu and says something about Drew not knowing what it takes to be champion and does his whole rah-rah speech. But then he says he wants to win the Rumble for the third time, and the crowd turns on him. Randy Orton interrupts. Cell phone camera lights are waving. Orton, with the great line, says there's nothing more dangerous than a viper chasing number 15. Orton also reminds us that Cody is not the only one to win the Rumble twice. And Jey Uso comes out, this time through the aisle, and the crowd is yeeting. And he says, Randy Uso, Cody Uso. He says he won it last year and he'll win it again this year. Yeet. And if that wasn't enough, Sami Zayn comes out. He starts speaking Arabic to the crowd. Assalamu alaikum. My Arabic is terrible. Assalamu alaikum. Anyways, that means like peace be with you.
But you know Arabic?
I know a few words. My parents spoke Arabic.
Really?
Yeah. I think we talked about this once before. Actually, when I brought up the Armenian.
No, I thought they all spoke Armenian. I thought that it was. I didn't know that there was. Why would they speak two different languages like that?
Well, where they grew up in Lebanon, and so the primary language in Lebanon was Arabic. But since we are of Armenian descent, my parents also spoke Armenian, and they had to learn English in school, so they were trilingual. And on top of that, there's even like my grandfather spoke Turkish, so my dad picked that up too, because my grandfather was born and raised in Turkey. So
wait a second.
Yeah.
The Turkish people were not fond of the Armenians.
No, around that
not
time,
at all.
When my grandfather was growing up, that's when the whole war happened.
Okay.
I'm not going to get too deep into that, but yeah, my grandfather was evicted from Turkey. And that's when he moved the family to Lebanon, and that's where my father was born. Dad came to America, and here I am.
Yeah, here you are.
But the point
cool
is,
stuff.
When my father grew up in Lebanon, he learned to speak Arabic.
Awesome.
So,
okay. All right.
So
Good
I know
to
a few
know.
words. All right, history lesson over. Sammy with his Assalamu alaikum. You know what I was thinking the whole time? Iran, #1, USA. Missy Shiki. Anyways, Sammy says he's going to win tomorrow over Drew and finally win the WWE Championship. He's never beaten Drew, but he's never lost in Saudi Arabia. Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Heyman interrupts. He puts over the members of the Vision. He even tries to speak some Spanish to the Saudi crowd. By the way, that was edited out of the replay. But
Wonder why.
I don't know. And Nick Aldis comes out, and an 8-man tag match is made for tonight. We have our main event. So we have our first match of the evening, which is Carmelo Hayes versus Rey Fenix for the U.S. Open Challenge. So we got some impressive bouncy arm drags at the beginning, in the very bouncy arm drags at the beginning by Rey, followed by some spinning dive plancha. Phoenix is a human highlight reel here. Melo's leaping DDT looked great. Both men trade kicks and each hit each other at the same time and then go down. The fire stomp looked good. The fire stomp, that's when Rey jumps on the back of a person's, he does a double stomp on the back of their neck, upper back, whatever. Good shit. The other double stomp that people do in the corner, stupid shit. Anyways, tilt-a-whirl slam from Melo always looks good. And then Melo goes over with the nothing but net. So I thought this was pretty good. But one of Melo's better matches, actually. But at some point, Rey Fenix has to win something. He doesn't have to win a title, but I feel like he's got to win a match. I can't remember the last time I saw him win a match.
Yeah, I can't either.
And I think this U.S. Open Challenge has ran its course. Let's move on. Let's do something else. Maybe, have that feud with The Miz and then move on.
Yeah.
Anyways, do you have any thoughts or insight on the opening promo or this match?
I wasn't really into the match that much. And maybe for the same reason that you just mentioned, like it's pretty obvious who's going to win. Because Rey Fenix never wins anything, and Carmelo is the champ. He's going to be champ for a foreseeable amount of time here. If they're doing the open challenges, I'm like you. I wish they'd stop. We've talked about that before. So I wasn't particularly into this. I just, I'm kind of over the whole thing. I'm ready to see them do something else with that belt.
Yeah, likewise.
See, that's the only mid-card title that we've had to see whatsoever on weekly television, right? Because Dom's been hurt with the IC belt, held captive. They didn't take it from him, and even when he was there, wasn't really doing a whole lot with it. So I don't know. I'm over it. I'm over the challenges.
Him and John Cena had that brief feud, which was fine. But as soon as that feud ended, that's when Dom went away. Dom went away with that injury.
That's the only thing they did with it, and you couldn't help but think that was just to add that to John Cena's
resume
title history, because that's the only one he had never won. So it felt like charity more than it felt like anything else.
Okay. All right. Well, we have The Miz and Ilya. They have a backstage promo. Ilya crushes Miz's hand and says, "Your pain will entertain." Brock Lesnar calls into Pat McAfee's show. This is pre-taped footage, and says he's announcing him that he's going to be in the Rumble.
Yeah.
I'll give that's a little bit more than what Roman Reigns did. I mean, Roman Reigns just what we said this way. He sent an email saying he's going to be in.
Yeah, he just somehow he sent a text message or an email or something to declare.
Yeah. And there was like this segment where Damian Priest draws his number. R-Truth is making ball jokes. And did Damian Priest reveal his entrant number? Because he was like, it's going to be a long night. Well, I thought he was going to be number 1 or 2. Spoiler alert, he's neither. So moving on.
Isn't he like number 7 or something?
I don't have. I have it right here. I'll get to that. I'll get to that when we cover the Rumble.
Yeah, we'll get to that when we get to it. But yeah. he had a relatively low number.
Yeah,
but it wasn't 1 or 2. Yeah.
And one by one, we go through these promos where Rio says they're still gonna be friends after the Rumble. Kiana and Julia show up and talk smack. Julia and Io start talking Japanese to each other. Nia and Lash show up and join on the shit talking before they're broken up by officials. You know, the shit apple falls from the tree.
Shit apple doesn't fall far from the shit tree.
Before we were rolling, we were talking about Jim Leahy's shitisms. And I don't know, I heard the whole shit talking.
We'll have more before this episode's over, I'm sure.
All right. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss have a promo in the ring. They say, or Charlotte says, all the women in the back are at each other's throats, but Charlotte says she's going to win and go to WrestleMania. Alexa says she has the same plans. Alexa says, not everything's about you. Oh! Sorry. The Judgment Day girls come out, talk some more trash. Nick Aldis makes a tag team match official. We have Alexa Bliss and Charlotte versus Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez of the Judgment Day. All right, so the heels isolate, work on Alexa. Roxanne gets in a good amount of offense here. We get a small package roll with Liv and Alexa rolling around. And while Charlotte did get the hot tag, for once, this was not the Charlotte Flair show where she dominates the whole match. She did chop everybody, and we got our woo! And weak moonsault from Charlotte. Why they showed a replay, I do not know. Somebody's busted open, though. Somebody's lacerated and busted in half. The ref's got the gloves on. That's how I caught it, at least. Raquel Rodriguez tries to get involved. Stephanie Vicaire shows up and evens the odds. Sister Abigail to Roxanne gets the win for the faces. All right, match. I think you know how I tend to describe matches that are just okay, which is run of the mill.
Yeah.
Sting Stephanie Vicaire was cool. What about you, man? You got anything to say regarding?
It was cool to see her on SmackDown.
Yeah.
That was probably the biggest part of the match for me. You know, I don't really have anything else other than that. Stephanie Vicaire showing up was pretty cool. That's all I got.
Okay. Jordan Grace says she's ready to win the Rumble. We get a whole bunch of these promos. And then Jade Cargill tries to jump her, and then a pull-apart ensues. Now, Axiom versus Johnny Gargano. Candice is banned from ringside, and if Axiom wins, he gets his mask back. So we get a decent standing Spanish fly from Axiom to Gargano. Great moonsault from the top on the outside by Axiom. Another Spanish fly, this time from the top rope. We get 2-in-1 match. The ending here is fantastic. This is the best part. So Axiom gets his old mask back. He loads up the golden ratio, but Johnny super kicks him, rips the mask off Axiom, which is very disrespectful, by the way. You don't do that to another luchador. Johnny's now laughing in the corner, taunts Nathan Frazier with the mask. Meanwhile, Axiom puts the old mask on and hits the golden ratio for the win. Fantastic. Love that. I was going to say another run-of-the-mill match, but the ending puts it over a couple notches. I had a lot of fun with that stuff. I was laughing. I had a good laugh there. Now, I don't know if you shared my sentiment or not, but let me know what you thought.
I love the ending too. I kept thinking the whole time though, what are we doing here? He's trying to get a mask back, but he has a mask. Why does he care if he has the old one or not? He can have as many masks as he wants. Did they never put any kind of emphasis behind why the old one was important? Right?
That's true. Yeah. I figured, he's going to want all his masks. Like, unless he gives one away.
They stole something from him, so naturally he wants it back. But I just didn't know. I don't know. My mind works in mysterious ways, Slick Vic, and that's all I could think about.
Okay. Once more, we got Ilya Dragunov, who tells Carmelo that after he dispatches The Miz, he's coming after him. Trick Williams is in the back and wants the camera to check out his lemon pepper steppers.
Yeah.
He's going to win the Rumble. AJ Styles comes out for a promo. Says he was just in the area and thought he'd say hello. He just happened to be in Saudi Arabia for, reasons. Not for a wrestling show he was booked at. He just, thought he'd take in the local scenery.
Right.
And then he leaves. I'm just kidding. He says not to worry about tomorrow's match because he's going to knock Gunther's teeth down his throat. And then we get our one more times. A list of one more time match again. He's going to win one more time against Cody, one more time against Randy, one more time against CM Punk. But then Gunther interrupts and goes, "Wrong!" I'm serious. He yelled, "Wrong!" Gunther says you made a mistake accepting this match, and tomorrow you're going to tap out. AJ reminds us that Gunther tapped out last time, like a little. They muted the bitch again. All right. Before I go any further, any thoughts on any of the competitors going into the Rumble or AJ Styles and Gunther?
I'm really big. I am a big fan of Gunther. I gotta say, I know everybody hates him right now, but he's fantastic, and I love every time he comes out. It's just a highlight. It's just a highlight reel to watch him. But yeah, I thought it was kind of cool seeing the back and forth again with them again before going into their match. So that was my takeaway from it. I thought that was the highlight for me.
He's got a really, really good gimmick right now as the career killer. And he's going all out with it. And he's doing a great job. He's relishing the hate. He's coming back with some great lines.
Yeah.
Like you said, he's embracing the hate, embracing the jeers, so to speak.
Yeah. Yep. I think I got some notes on that a little bit later, but we'll get to it.
Okay. Tama Tonga tells Shinsuke Nakamura that he should retire too. Nakamura says Tama is still a young punk. And he starts speaking in Japanese, and looks like a match between the two of them is set for next week. Speaking of matches, we have The Miz versus Ilya Dragunov, and I'm not going to go into this. Run of the mill. Both men traded some shots. The Constantine special looked cool. Ilya goes over with the Dragunov. Very, very run of the mill, maybe even subpar run of the mill. So I don't know if you have any witty or deep dives going into that one, but
I didn't see Miz winning. That was about my only takeaway from it. I didn't think that it was I've mentioned before too how I've never really been a big fan of the Miz, but it's kind of weird just seeing him get beat now all the time, or showing up for an interview and getting somebody hits their finisher on him and then throws him out of the ring. Like, that's his role now. Yeah. It's kind of sad to watch a little bit.
All right. Yeah. I mean, this didn't do much for me, and I was kind of like, all right, well, let's move on. That's pretty much how I felt going into this match.
Yeah.
Solo Sikoa and the MFTs have a video package where they say they're going to take everything the Wyatts love away from them, including the lantern.
Damn.
So damn, that lantern. Anyways, Solo says he's going to win the Rumble next. The Wyatt Six interrupt with their own video package. Howdy says the MFTs have underestimated them, and they will reclaim the titles, and it will lead to their demise. Heavy shit, man. Deep shit. No, man, don't fuck with another man's lantern. All right. Enough of the stupid lantern jokes for today.
I can only imagine what if somebody did. You got to think though, Vic. What if somebody tried to fuck with your lantern? Like what would you do?
It would lead to their demise. I'm telling you that much.
Yeah.
All right, main event time. The heels, which is the Vision, I should say. The Vision versus the four baby faces, which is Cody, Randy, Sammy, and Jay, versus division, which is Bronson, Austin, Logan, and Braun. Braun Breaker's here, right? Yeah, Braun Breaker's here. All right, the heels take turns getting heat on Cody. Logan hits a interesting gut wrench. Breaker makes fun of Orton's taunt. Cody finally makes the hot tag to Orton, vintage Orton. Then everybody takes turns throwing each other over the top rope, which actually looked pretty good. It was like a little appetizer for the Rumble. RKO to Theory made me think that was the end, but Division break it up. The match ends not too long after that when Drew interferes and attacks Sammy for the DQ. Post-match, Jacob Fatu comes in and attacks Drew. And that ends SmackDown.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah. You got anything to say about that main event?
I wasn't that excited about it. Am I wrong here in feeling like this was a bit run of the mill as far as the match itself? I mean, Jacob Fatu coming out, I'm loving the fact that he's back. So I thought that was great. Other than that, so.
Yeah, I mean, this I don't know. I think I pretty much thought it would just be a nobody's gonna do anything crazy here. They're not gonna mess anything up before the Rumble, or they're not gonna do anything too wild because they want to save that for the Rumble, I imagine.
That's what kind of sucks about shows now, I feel like, especially SmackDown. SmackDown, unfortunately, has, that placement. It's on Friday. PLEs are on Saturday. So they may do something to go, going into the PLE, but by the time SmackDown rolls around, the PLE's pretty much set. Like, they know what's going to happen. We all know the matches, the card, and everything. So it's just sort of like getting through it to get to the PLE. So yeah.
Speaking of getting through it, let's move on to the main event. I mean, not the main event, but let's move on to what we came here to talk about the most. What we're really all excited to discuss.
Yeah. The Royale Rumble.
Yeah. The Rumble
Royale with cheese.
What do they call a Big Mac?
A Big Mac? No, what do they call a Whopper?
I don't know. I didn't go to Burger King.
I don't know. I didn't go into Burger King.
Big Mac's a Big Mac, but they call it Le Big Mac.
Le Big Mac. Yeah. It's like they're French. They don't know what the fuck a quarter pound is.
Got the metric system.
Yeah. So we're moving on to the Royal Rumble now, ladies and gentlemen. Royal Rumble in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. 2026, again, I don't know which Rumble this was. How many Rumbles have there been? Was the first one in 88?
Yeah.
So there's been 28 Rumbles now? Is my math correct? 38?
38?
Is my math? No, my math's not mathing. There's been 38, so this was the 38th Royal Rumble. First one outside of the United States, if I'm not mistaken about that. Well, other than, there's ever been one in Canada? Who cares? Anyway, this is the first one that's notable for being somewhere else. They made a big deal about that. And of course, we got WrestleMania next year that's going to be in Saudi Arabia as well. But the first match on the card was the Women's Royal Rumble match. And the way we're going to do this one, ladies and gentlemen, me and Vic, we got all this worked out beforehand. I'm going to call the first 15 entrants and a few of the spots and whatnot that happened during that. And then Vic's going to take it over. And then when we get to the Men's Rumble match a little bit later on, we're going to flip the script. And then we've split up the other two matches on the card as well. So, without further ado, Charlotte Flair enters at number 1. Alexa Bliss enters at number 2. This is an interesting start to the Rumble, putting the Friends of Convenience against each other. And we get... Oh, God, I'm going to have to not say that name. We get...
Miss Bliss.
Miss Bliss. Bliss wants to so we get this little back and forth between them. Bliss wants to partner up, but Charlotte, she keeps pointing to the WrestleMania sign. And they tease several big moves on each other, but they never follow through. And eventually they just team up. And I think Bliss, like, hops on her shoulders or something, and they're standing there, you know, like, waiting for number 3. And number 3 is Kiana James. She gets in the ring. She gets beat up by Flair and Bliss. Nia Jax enters at number 4. She bulldozes everyone until Kiana rallies some offense. By the way, Slick Vic, Kiana James in that outfit. Let's talk about it for a moment. Houndstooth, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think she was trying to, when she came in, she saw Charlotte and Alexa. She was trying to get two birds stoned at once.
Yeah. She was, what'd you say? She was on the, what's it called?
What did I say?
Well, what the fuck is it called?
Worst case Ontario, man. She was trying to get the best. She was trying to do the best of Supply and Command.
Supply and Command. No. On the swish. On the swish. I had to look back.
Oh man.
Kiana was on the swish hard.
For those of you that don't know, swish is this old, dirty, shitty tasting homemade fucking liquor that you can barely get her into you. My fuck, does it ever get you some drunk?
Yeah. All right, so then we have Ivy Nile at number 5. And the crowd is chanting "You suck" to her music a la Kurt Angle. I've never noticed them do that before, but she does have sort of this Kurt Angle type music going on. And they're singing along to it. She gets some offense on everyone, but Nia comes back. Everyone else is just laying around in the ring awkwardly at this point. Lola Vice enters at number 6, beats everyone up until Jax wakes up and starts ragdolling all the gals again. It was at this point, Slick Vic, that I started to sense a pattern. Kiana James hits a Samoan drop on Nia Jax, which was impressive. Candice LeRae is number 7. Everyone's fighting. 0 eliminations yet. Jordynne Grace, my pick to win this, was number 8. She eliminated Candice LeRae and somebody else that I didn't catch in time to note it. But she got 2 eliminations simultaneously. Then she sends Ivy Nile packing, so she got another elimination. Flair and Bliss are trying to eliminate Nia. She gets her on the apron, but Flair hits a running kick to Jax, but somehow knocks Bliss off the apron as well and out of the Rumble. So, no eliminations up to number 7, and then after Jordynne gets in, we have several. Who's that other gal that got eliminated there by Candice LeRae? Did you catch that? Or by Jordynne Grace? Candice LeRae and somebody threw him over the top rope.
I don't have it here.
It was probably Lola Vice, I'm guessing, because I think the rest of them are either her or Ivy Nile. Anyway, let's see. Where did I leave off? Becky Lynch at number 9. Oh, and by the way, the pattern that I was noticing is that somebody will come out, they'll hit 4 or 5 people and knock them down. Meanwhile, everybody else is just laying there or like waiting for their spot. It started to get really awkward and really obvious. Instead of them fighting, they were just kind of resting. So that was and that, we see that happen over and over and over. Becky Lynch at number 9. She brawls with Charlotte out of the ring, but under the rope. So they're not eliminated, but they're fighting outside the ring for a minute. Number 10 is Sol Ruca. She starts handing out super kicks like they're free samples. Roxanne Perez at number 11. Maxine Dupree at number 12. Natty at number 13. And Becky eliminates Maxine with very little effort. Thought that was kind of lame. Natty eliminates Becky in rather anticlimactic fashion. Thought that was kind of lame. Liv Morgan enters at number 14. Hits the Oblivion on Kiana James right off the bat, then hits the 3 Amigos on Sol Ruca. And Lash Legend enters at number 15 in the funkiest purple attire I've ever seen. She definitely had the best attire of the night, in my opinion. She dominates for a moment, then eliminates Jordynne Grace. Boo. Tossing her off her shoulders from the apron. And Vic, I'm going to let you take over from there.
Okay. Yeah, Lola Vice was the other elimination from Jordynne Grace.
All right.
So I got that for you. I want to just say a couple things. Like, big shout out to Candice LeRae for her Van Halen themed outfit.
Yes.
Big kudos from her to her. Anyways, Becky's graphic when she came.
From you to me to him to us to everyone. You, me, everyone in this fucking room. I know you don't know what that's from, but you would like it if you did.
Okay.
MK4 bloopers.
Becky's graphic when she comes out says greatest of all time, and not just her saying it, Sports Illustrated saying it. I thought it was funny. I liked Sol Ruka's skater outfit. That looked very natural, whereas everyone else is wearing these cat suits or body suits, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, because she looked like normal because she always kind of wears stuff like this. Everybody else, it was obviously they were Power Rangers, but like Sol Ruka just looked normal.
Okay, that elimination from Natty throwing out Becky like she was a jabroni. That was exactly that. Like she just dumped Becky like she was a jabroni. I was like,
yeah,
okay. So much for Becky.
Yeah, like I said, I thought it was lame. It was very anticlimactic, very kind of spur of the moment almost.
All right, number 16 is Zelina Vega with some crazy wings and horns. Number 17 is Raquel Rodriguez, and now all three women from the Judgment Day are in. Kiana James gets eliminated by Raquel with assistance from the Judgment Day. Number 18 is Chelsea Green, flanked by Alba Fire. She tries to form an alliance with the Judgment Day, but they say nope. Alba gets dragged into the ring and pretty much gets eliminated by Raquel, even though she wasn't in it. So once again, Alba caught some shrapnel. Number 19 is Julia, who's a House of Fire. She tries to throw out Chelsea, but Alba uses her back to catch Chelsea's legs and move her to safety. Fun stuff. Number 20 is Io Sky, who's also a House of Fire. Number 21 is Asuka. And her, Io, and Julia, I swear, almost recreate that Spider-Man pointing meme where they're all like...
Yeah.
I can't fit it in my camera, but yeah. Number 22 is Rhea Ripley, who gets massive pyro for her entrance. Even Wade Barrett says, you must be a pretty big star to get that for a Royal Rumble entrance.
That makeup was awful, though. Rhea's makeup. And I sent you the picture of what it reminds me of Lady Elaine Fairchild from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Awful.
I had no idea what that was. I didn't even catch that at first until you sent me a picture, and I'm like, oh, okay. I'm so bad with colors, though, and my wife will tell you all about it. Anyways.
Yeah.
I love the way Rhea slides in the ring. She immediately targets the Judgment Day. Julia eliminates Zelina Vega. Chelsea convinces Rhea to salute her. But of course, Rhea immediately follows it up with a punch to the face and super kick to Alba for good measure. Chelsea then gets dumped by Rhea. Rhea then eliminates Roxanne by way of a razor's edge onto Chelsea and Alba. Number 23 is Bayley. Number 24 is JC Jane. And she's, I'm using this word a lot now, a House of Fire, taking out a bunch of women. Liv Morgan throws out Natty. Number 25 is Nikki Bella. Number 26 is Lyra Valkyria. Her and Bayley work together to eliminate Julia. Boo.
Yeah, boo. Boo for
and
sure.
Number 27 is Kaylani Jordan. Number 28 is Kairi Sane, complete with a telescope. She tries to help Asuka eliminate Rio, but accidentally eliminates Asuka. Actually, I think it was just Io, not Rio.
She ran down the ramp with that telescope looking through it, and I'm thinking, God, don't fall, God, because if she fell, that would go straight through her brain.
Oh, God. Final Destination style.
Everybody ran to the ring, and none of them fell, but at least one of them should have fallen. But I'm glad it wasn't her.
Like the Titus O'Neil spot?
Yeah, dude, that was so great. That was so good.
Okay, well, you know what's not good? Number 29 was Brie Bella.
I'm going to have to disagree with you, Vic. I thought that was a pretty cool surprise. Not necessarily the surprise I wanted to see, but hey.
Yeah. Do you like her
Primo.
music too?
No, I hate her music. But, when she comes back and everybody starts doing the yes chant, and you've got the crossover because she's Daniel Bryan's,
Yeah,
or Bryan Danielson's real life counterpart. Yep. So,
yeah, I got it right here. The crowd comes alive with her entrance and the yes chanting, and her and Nikki obviously start working together. And number 30 is Tiffany Stratton. It's Tiffy time. She swantons onto everybody. So now all 30 entrants are in. We've got 14 women still in the match. Tiffany and Charlotte have a face-off reminding us of last year's WrestleMania. The Bellas have a face-off with Lyra and Bayley. And the Bellas then throw out Bayley and Lyra, which is a pretty good moment, actually. I'll give you that. JC throws out Kalani with some trash talk to go with it. Soul hits JC with a soul snatcher out of nowhere. Still the coolest move. Even Wade Barrett agrees.
Thing of beauty. Thing of beauty, they said.
It's not just me saying it. Wade Barrett is saying it.
That's right.
And then so she tosses out JC. Lash Legend throws out both Bella twins, much to the dismay of the Saudi crowd, who chants no. Lash then eliminates Charlotte Flair. And then we get a graphic on the screen that says Charlotte lasted 59 minutes and 49 seconds. She's the 60-minute woman, huh? Is there a certain sound bite that goes with 60 minutes?
Well, 59 minutes and 45, 54 seconds or whatever is not exactly 60, but you know what? We'll give it to her.
Woo! All right. Lash and Io tangle up on the apron. Lash then dumps Io with a huge boot to the face. Did you catch that bit? When Io is like holding on to Lash, like one of Lash's legs. Lash uses her other leg and just stomps her right in the head. Vicious looking.
Looked brutal.
We finally get the face-off between Lash and Rhea. Every time a woman tried to interrupt, they'd get walloped by Lash or Rhea. After those two traded a few shots, Lash and Raquel now have a stare down and exchange some heavy clotheslines. Rhea comes back and clotheslines Lash over the top rope to finally eliminate her. Raquel responds by bouncing Rhea with a stiff-looking Tejana bomb off the apron to the floor for Mommy's elimination. Liv Morgan sneaks up on Raquel and tosses her out with a big smile on her face, and we're down to 3. Liv Morgan, Sol Ruca, and Tiffany Stratton. So they all trade shots. Sol hits a double Soul Snatcher. They fight on the apron. Sol gets dumped by Tiffany after going for another Soul Snatcher. If Gorilla Monsoon was here, she'd say, she went to the well one too many times. Liv hits Oblivion to get rid of Tiffany to get the win. Liv Morgan is our 2026 Women's Royal Rumble winner. Before we go into all the trivia or facts or notes we got, I want to say this was a fun Rumble. The pacing was pretty good. I never felt the match drag too much. There was a lot of action, especially at the end. There's a lot of star power in this match. I'm fine with Liv winning. I pretty much always prefer when they don't have repeat winners, and Liv has never won one. So, not an all-time classic, but it delivered on the fun. I had a blast. I think the big thing was the pacing felt fine for me. What say you, Mr. Mosley?
Well, first of all, I love the fact that they have the graphic at the bottom showing how many people are in the ring, how many have entered, how many have been eliminated. All that was really cool.
Yes.
I also don't mind that Liv won. I'm not going to say I like that she won necessarily because she wasn't my pick, and I don't know. I'm just not into her right at the moment. I would have preferred a different surprise maybe to win. I picked Jordynne Grace, and I really wanted to see Jordynne Grace win, but I understand why she didn't. She got to shine in this match, and that was cool. That was good enough. She got a few eliminations as soon as she came in. Lash looked fantastic in this match. All the gals that are kind of up and coming did really well. Sol Ruca damn near won the thing, and she did fantastic. So I think the future is fairly secure for the women's division here, and that's what I took away from this Rumble match.
You know, I'll chime in too. I thought Lash and Sol Ruka looked great, and to a lesser extent, Kiana James and Jordan Grace did look pretty good in this match. Charlotte lasted the longest. Lash had the most eliminations. I mean, Lash was throwing out some big names. Like you threw out Charlotte Flair. That's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Becky being dumped like a jabroni felt really anticlimactic.
Yeah. So the beginning was not that good, in my opinion. Like the first little bit of the match was not that great, really. And I'm not just saying this. Sports Illustrated is saying this. The match didn't really start picking up until Jordan Grace got in. Like, that's where it started to kind of, you know, get some speed to it and get going, and the action started picking up and things started happening. Up until that point, it was kind of lame because Nia Jax was just throwing people around. Everybody was laying around resting, waiting for their spots. You got the weird eliminations that happened shortly after all of that, but at least that was sort of after the action started picking up. But the early going here wasn't too exciting.
Fair enough. So you and we talked about some surprise entrances that we thought would be in the Rumble. Do you remember? Yeah. Do you remember who you chose?
I don't know if I chose anybody for the women, did I? Because I didn't pick any for the women that I remember. Okay. Did I? Did I mention any for the women?
Did you think Bianca Belair was going to be in this match? Because that was my biggest surprise.
I know that you did, and I agreed with that. I thought that's definitely going to happen. Paige. I know you mentioned Paige, and I thought that was a great pick as well. In fact, when we finally got to number 30, I realized I've been waiting for Paige to come out this whole time, and she never came out. This sucks. The match didn't suck, but I was let down by the lack of surprise entrance in this one, as I've been for many years with many Rumbles, so it wasn't too awful bad. I've been seasoned to it. I've got, the scars of previous battles, and, I'm kind of used to it, but I don't think I had any lined up for the women.
As soon as Becky got eliminated, I'm like, okay, there's no way AJ Lee is going to show up now.
Yeah. Yeah. Where was she? Why wasn't she in this?
Exactly. The only thing I could come up with was she's mourning Larry still.
I think that there was first of all, it's in Saudi Arabia. I mean, for God's sakes, not everybody wants to go to Saudi Arabia for one reason or another, much less don't want to travel so many hours on a plane over this place and on very little sleep. From what I understand, when this event ended, it was 2 o'clock in the morning over there, which is crazy. Why would they start at 10 o'clock in the night? A big PLE event. I don't understand that. But I think that had a lot to do with it, too.
Also, I just thought of it now. Our next PLE is in Chicago.
Yeah.
So maybe they're saving AJ for Chicago.
Probably, yeah. That would make sense.
Well, for surprise entrances that did make an appearance, I don't know if you would necessarily agree these are surprise entrances, but we had JC Jane, Kelani Jordan, Brie Bella, and Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah. So your picks for surprise entrance was Paige, right? Bianca, and was it Sol Ruka? I think that was your other.
I did also say Tiffany Stratton. I did throw that name out there. Like I think I even put her as my third pick to win the damn thing.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Is for the Rumble matches, it was only fair, I believe, to pick a top 3, and then if you hit on any of them, you win. So, having said that, Slick Vic, what were your 3 picks? Do you remember all 3 of your picks?
Yes, they were Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, and Tiffany Stratton. Remind me again who won this Royal Rumble.
Liv Morgan won this Rumble, and you, sir, for that, get a...
Yeah!
I thought that was pretty impressive, Slick Vic. Two of the people that you picked were in it and very close to the end and winning. And
Final two.
Bianca was the only one, which I do remember you saying you think that's who's going to win. And
yeah.
I'll give you this. If she had been in it, probably would have. You know, even though I would have rather somebody else won other than her. But yeah, if she would have been in it, I think she would have been a foregone conclusion to win it. There's always the chamber.
That also goes against what I said earlier too. Is I prefer when people aren't repeat winners.
Exactly.
Bianca has already won a Rumble.
Yeah.
All right. Well, unless you have anything else to say, I'm ready to move on to the next match.
No, I think, well, actually, yeah, I got ratings. We got gigawatts to talk about.
Got gigawatts, man.
1.21, actually. So, Slick Vic picked Liv Morgan to win. Liv Morgan won. Good job, Slick Vic. You are 1 for 1 so far in the Royal Rumble. Score for this match was a 4 out of 10. I gave it a 1 for the build. 1 for quality. Memorable moments got a half because I don't think that there were that awful many. Maybe Brie Bella coming back it might have been the biggest moment of the whole thing, really. Emotion got a half because there wasn't really a lot of it, to be honest, going on. Result got a 1 because, again, I think that, and that's out of 2. All of these are out of 2. I think that it's good that somebody won it that hasn't won it before. It's good that somebody, we weren't expecting a Rhea Ripley or a Charlotte or whoever. But I'm not so big on Liv that I'm pumped about her being in the main event at WrestleMania for one of the women's championships. Or not the main event, but, for one of the women's championships at WrestleMania. So, that's it. 4 out of 10. Gigawatts. The next match is a career-threatening match. We have AJ Styles versus Gunther, and I know this is one that a lot of people were looking forward to. I'm going to call this one. I've got quite a few play-by-play notes here because I felt like this was a pretty important match, and I wanted to be able to remember it well. So let's get into it. AJ hits some chops in the corner. Gunther slows things down, slapping a headlock on Styles. They get outside the ring. Gunther backdrops AJ on the table. Runs him into the post. AJ has a nasty cut on his arm. I think he got that from being backdropped onto the announce table. Gunther lands a huge back body drop on AJ and puts him in a Boston Crab. Boston Crab, a.k.a. the Walls of Jericho. Well, yeah, Walls of Jericho. I would have said Lion Tamer, but that's a little bit different. Some back and forth, and AJ hits a Pele kick. Both men are down. AJ hits, and what was that move called? Oshigoroshi? Oshigoroshi gets a 2 count, tries for a Styles Clash, but Gunther counters it into a clothesline. Gunther hits what Michael Carl calls a dinosaur drop kick. I think that's very appropriately named.
The dinosaur drop kick. I remember catching that too.
And follows up with a massive power bomb, but AJ kicks out at 2. Gunther charges AJ, but Styles lands a kick to the targeted leg. The targeted leg being the one that AJ's been targeting throughout this match. Because, of course, of the calf crusher and wanting to make him tap out. So they're working on Gunther's leg here. And rolls him into the calf crusher, but Gunther is able to lock in a sleeper hold. AJ breaks the sleeper by running Gunther into the ropes, causing the ring general to go tumbling to the outside. AJ follows up with a phenomenal forearm to the outside, then tosses Gunther back in. Gunther catches AJ on the top turnbuckle. Then we have several back and forth counters by each man, attempting a powerbomb, until AJ finally hits one for 2. I like that. That was impressive. Styles hits a springboard 450, then a Styles Clash, but Gunther kicks it too. So here we are, going into the old multiple finishers ending. Gunther grabs the official and hits a low blow to AJ out of the ref's view and follows up with a power bomb, but AJ kicks out at 2. Gunther catches AJ off a phenomenal forearm attempt, gets AJ in the sleeper, hits elbows over and over, breaking him down and keeping the sleeper hold, as we saw with the John Cena match. But this time, AJ does not tap out. He simply passes out and loses. So long, AJ Styles. His career is over, at least as far as the WWE is concerned. Maybe we'll see him pop up in TNA. Who knows? AJ spends a long time leaving the ring. He starts to take his gloves off at one point, then he puts them back on, he poses, he goes out of the ring, he goes back in the ring, he poses some more on the turnbuckles. Ultimately, he leaves without leaving anything in the ring. So he took his boots and his pants and his underwear and his gloves and everything with him. Felt like the whole ending sequence was kind of odd and didn't get the kind of reaction out of the Saudi crowd that it would have in the States, in my opinion. And Vic, I mentioned this to you. Maybe it's because it took so long for him to leave, but I feel like it was oddly quiet by the time he got out of there, considering this was his goodbye, farewell. But that's it, Slick Vic. What did you think about this match?
You know, I don't have a lot of deep, in-depth notes for this, but like I said, the crowd was really hot for the opening, and Gunther and AJ didn't really have to do much. It was reminiscent of like Hogan and Rock for those first like 5 minutes, where literally they're just locking up or pushing each other or hitting a few punches, and you can see the hard camera, the crowd is jumping like like ping pong balls. They're just jumping like crazy.
Yeah.
I like how AJ was hitting Gunther with some of his moves. Like he did the power bomb and he did the sleeper. And Gunther's viciousness at the end was one of his strong suits. Like he's like telling AJ to stay down, whatnot, and I like that storytelling. I thought that was pretty good. Now here's one interesting thing. When Gunther locks in a sleeper hold, the referee only gives the opponent a 1 count? Like, was this always a thing?
I caught that too. I think I've seen it happen before. Like when they're obviously passed out and they kind of hit their hand a little bit and then they lift it up. So I've seen that happen. I don't think it necessarily has to be dropping it 3 times if they're clearly gone. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe that's what they intended there, but yeah, I know normally like you would expect it to be 3 of them before he calls for the bell.
Maybe that's just like old school wrestling where the 3 count and the babyface will go like, or what Hogan would go like this, he'd go like,
yeah, 1, 2, and then he'd almost hit the mat.
Yeah,
and then he'd start hulking back up, brother.
Or even better was when Stone Cold would his 3rd one.
Yeah.
Like he'd flick the ref off, like
yeah.
Anyways, but the ending, it's weird. It's like you said, like even though we know the stipulation, AJ losing still kind of felt like anticlimactic to me. Like, man, really, we're letting AJ's retiring in January of what was supposed to be his last year, but then he puts the gloves back on after he teases taking them off.
Yeah, so I didn't get that.
What's sort of like? It's very confusing.
I mean, it's sort of like a cliffhanger, and that's why I say, and they've made it a point to mention WWE career, but then they went back, and I know after it, I think it was Corey or somebody said that they had talked to AJ, and he said, "No, this is it. I'm done. This is if I lose, this is my last one or whatever." So yeah, I didn't understand putting the gloves back on. I don't know. That remains to be seen whether that goes anywhere or doesn't. If it doesn't, I feel like it's stupid. Like there had to be some point to that, and if we don't find out, then it's just going to be stupid. So.
Well, if this is the end of AJ, I'm going to miss him.
Yeah, I mean, he was reminding us all how great he really was there in the last few weeks. And I know a lot of people seeing a lot of opinions online and things saying, like, he's one of the best wrestlers today. He's really going out on top. But that's the way he wanted to do it. So, like I say, unless he shows up in TNA, which is sort of heavily rumored and expected at this point, and I don't see why not, to try to help get them over, and then he can actually retire in the place that he really made. Gonna miss him.
Yeah.
But Slick Vic, things happen. They don't always go the way you want. They don't always go the way that you expect. But you, on the other hand, expected this to happen, I believe.
I did. And this is also one of the times I was hoping I was wrong.
Yes, you did say that. You said that last week. And now, because you were right, we're going to have to give you one of these.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very unenthused yeah for me.
Yeah, it's more like a... Damn! I knew I've been wanting to hit that button for so long, but you've been right so much I've not got to in a long time, so... Yeah, we'll throw one in there.
That was perfect timing.
The next match, Slick Vic... Actually, no, before we move on to the next match... You're 2 for 2 so far. I have ratings for this one as well. I have ratings for everything when it comes to the PLEs and the Saturday night's main events. Vic, I gave this one a 6 out of 10. So, build got a 2 and quality got a 1.5. Memorable moments got a half. Emotion got a 1. And result got a 1. So,
wow.
Yeah. Well... 6 out of 10 ain't bad, because this is one of those matches where, like I said, it's sort of, I've fine-tuned the Mosley Gigawatt scale to be what it is, but sometimes a match that someone might think is much better than the score is brought down by things like, for example, the emotion, or the result, or the memorable moments, which in this case I think that it lacked in. I would have rather saw AJ Styles win this one, but that doesn't mean that the wrong guy won. So, an emotion, it was emotional, but it wasn't as emotional as I thought it would be. It was sort of anticlimactic. So,
fair.
That's it.
Fair enough. I'm still surprised you didn't give it a 2 because of the gravity of the situation.
That's the thing, though. I didn't feel the gravity of the situation, I think, because I did not expect him to lose. And even when he did lose, I did not feel like it was as big of a moment as it probably should have been.
Okay.
That was my take from it. So, not everyone's the same, but not everyone has a Gigawatt scale. So, I am tied to the rules of the scale, my friend.
You're full of what is it called? What is he using to power? Is it nuke radiation, or what does he use to power the flux capacitor?
Oh,
plutonium.
Plutonium. Yeah, plutonium. Yeah, because he steals it.
Well,
anyway, next match, Slick Vic, if you will.
Now, can we take a little pause for the cause?
We want to take a pause? All right.
Yeah, a little halfway point. Yeah.
Hey, that's good. That's good for me. Yeah, absolutely. We'll be right back. All right, everybody, we're back from that commercial break, that brief bathroom pause, if you will. And we're continuing on with the Royal Rumble. We've already talked about the Women's Rumble match, the AJ Styles versus Gunther match. Now we're going to move on to the next match on the card, which I think we talked about this whenever we did the review of the 98 Rumble. How the Rumble match did not actually main event that show. The title match did. But it hasn't been like that in recent memory, and it's not like that this time either. So, Slick Vic, yeah. Why don't you take it away with the next match on the card here?
For the undisputed WWE Championship, or is it the WWE Undisputed Championship? Either way, it is Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn. So Drew starts with a beatdown into Sami. Sami fights back and throws Drew out and hits him with a dive, but hurts himself, which becomes a large focal point of this match because Sami's favoring his back. Drew continues the attack and targets Sami's weakened back. The crowd is really behind Sami, as you'd expect. McIntyre's first Claymore attempt is countered into a Blue Thunder Bomb. Second Claymore attempt misses, but Sami still can capitalize. Drew hits a second rope white noise, shades of Sheamus, followed by 3 Future Shock DDTs, but Sami kicks out of 2. And once again, this is turning into what I like to call another long Sami Zayn selling matches.
Yeah.
All right. So Drew dodges a haluva kick. He finally hits a Claymore, but Sami kicks out of 2. Drew argues with the ref, which allows Sami to haluva kick for a 2. Drew power bombs Sami through the announcer's table. Multiple refs check on Sami. Drew throws him back, taunts him. Sami hits an exploder, but then eats 2 back-to-back Claymores for the win. I'm starting to not like these Sami Zayn matches all that much, to be honest with you, man. There's like this formula of him taking a beating for the majority of the match, gets a few lucky shots or, hope spots, if you want to call them that. And then sometimes wins, and that's it, which is kind of becoming a little too predictable. I mean, there was a sequence I didn't talk about where Drew hits like 3 corner clotheslines, and as he's charging back, Sami rushes for the haluva kick. We saw that last week on SmackDown, and thank God whoever he wrestled dodged that too, because this is just getting out of hand with the predictability and the formula. It's a tired formula for me with Sami Zayn. I don't think he's a bad wrestler per se, but I'm like, every match is him just getting walloped for 90% of it. And then he either gets a lucky win, or in this case, he just gets finished off after a brief little comeback. But anyways, all I'm saying is this was forgettable. At the end of the day, I'm not going to remember this match next week.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on this WWE Undisputed Championship match at the Royal Rumble between Drew and Sami?
Well, let me start by saying I'm not a fan of Sami Zayn. He is a great in-ring worker. He can sell his ass off. He can do all the moves. He is a great wrestler. And he even has good promos most of the time. But his character sucks. I'm tired of it. Everybody's tired of it. I'm tired of the same old matches, like you said. And he looks like shit. He needs to do something with his look. And he needs to turn heel, as I've been saying for a long time. Now that I've got that off my chest. Is this the match that anyone wanted to see? Especially the people in Saudi Arabia who were firmly behind Sami Zayn, who love seeing Sami Zayn come out. Got that big pop when he had the championship match before with Roman. This just seemed like Drew McIntyre beat the shit out of him. And there was very little offense by Sami, which I know we're used to, but this is Saudi Arabia. This was Sami winning the Fatal 4-Way match to get here, and the big, crowd reaction he got from when he won that match. And he just got the shit kicked out of him here by Drew McIntyre. I mean, not to take away anything from Drew, but Drew doesn't have that kind of stock, I don't think, to just beat the shit out of Sami like this in this match. So even though I said everything I said before about not being a huge Sami Zayn fan, etc., this match just sucked, I think. Like, it was not it was not presented the way that it should have been presented for this crowd or for the build to this match. Now, I'll give it credit where credit is due, and I'll go ahead and give my rating for it. It was a 4.5 out of 10. So, build, obviously, there was a little bit of that, got a half. Quality got a 1. Memorable moments, half. Emotion, half. Result got a 2. So, in this case, the roles were kind of reversed from the match earlier where, there was a lot of good things in the beginning, but then it kind of slowed down at the end. Obviously, the right person won here. And it's not even really a question, but I think Sammy could have put up a better fight. It could have been a better match altogether.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not going to remember this match after a week.
Who'd you pick to win this one, Slick Vic?
Drew McIntyre.
Yeah!
Short, sweet, and to the point. Drew McIntyre, and you are 3 for 3 as we go into the next and final match of the Royal Rumble, the men's Royal Rumble match. And Vic, as I mentioned before, we're going to split this one in half. You're going to give us the first 15, and I'll give us 16. 16. God damn it, where's my soundbite?
I was waiting for that one. I was like, is he loading it up?
There's no Hulkamaniacs here!
Nah, that one's good enough. 16 through the finish. All right.
So number 1. Would you consider, was this a surprise? No, he was already announced. It's Oba Femi. The crowd is chanting Oba. Number 2 is Braun Breaker, and I was hyped. I was like, oh, this is going to start off fast and furious or vicious and rough and tough, whatever. No barking from the Saudi crowd, though. I don't know if you caught that.
Yeah.
Anyways, Braun gets attacked by yet another hooded figure on his way to the ring. And then Braun gets in the ring and is immediately eliminated by Oba. That sucked. Anyways, number 3, Solo Sikoa. Him and Oba exchange shoulder tackles, with Oba getting the best of it. Number 4 is Rey Mysterio. Looks like he's not hurt, or not as hurt as we thought from this past SmackDown. Not yesterday, not the previous episode, the week before.
Yeah, we were worried about that.
Yeah, absolutely. He's able to get some shots in on both dudes before being knocked down. Number 5 is Rusev, and there's a lot of beef in the ring, and there's Rey Mysterio. Rusev trades blows with Oba, eats a 619 by Rey, and then is quickly eliminated by Oba. Solo Sikoa then is clotheslined out of the ring by Oba. Rey hits a 619 at Oba's ribs, and then a 619 to his head. But Oba just shakes it off, grabs Rey, and then dumps him out of the ring. I don't know how I felt about that. I mean, Rey's a legend. The 619 is a classic move, and Oba just shook 2 of them off like they were nothing.
Yeah. He's being built up to be a monster here.
Number 6 is Matt Cardona. Matt tries valiantly, but ultimately gets tossed by Oba for his 5th elimination. Number 7 is Damian Priest, so that's the number he drew. I mentioned this earlier, there's a lot of big dudes in this ring, and Damian is able to take it to Oba and last long enough for the next entrant, which is number 8, Javon Evans, whose music covers the screen, which annoyed the hell out of me. I don't know if you caught up. Like, he's like, I guess it's his Titantron or whatever. It fills up the whole screen.
Yeah, the graphic thing, yeah.
I was like watching Damian and Oba fight. All of a sudden, it's like there's like ice, whatever that graphic is. It looked like ice, like snowflakes, like covering the screen.
Yeah,
whatever. Javon's pants give me 90s Shawn Michaels vibes. Anyways, he's bouncy and gets some of his fancy aerial moves on both Oba and Damian. Number 9, Mr. Iguana with Layeska. Wade Barrett is pissed. even reminds us that former WWF president Jack Tunney banned reptiles from ringside. Where are the rules here? Why aren't they being enforced? Anyways, you'd expect to see Iguana here for some levity, which You know, when he gets knocked on his back, he gets his arms and legs up like he's, well, an iguana, I guess.
Yeah.
Number 10 is Trick Williams. Crowd is chanting, "Whoop that Trick." He gets in, and he keeps his fur coat on. And then he dumps out Mr. Iguana, and followed by Layeska. So I guess that's not two eliminations.
Well, they both got double choke slammed by Damian Priest. So they were out.
Yeah. So then we have a moment with Trick, Javon, and Oba where they face off, reminiscent of their triple threat match in NXT. Number 11 is Cody Rhodes. He does his full entrance complete with pyro. The crowd is singing his theme song. We get vintage Cody Rhodes with the power slam, a Cody cutter, and then a confrontation with Oba Femi. Now I don't know about you, but I have this written all over my notes. I know you're going to take over after 15, but there is probably a million confrontations in this match where like two people like pause and face each other off before the next entrant cuts them off. All right, because yeah, that's exactly what happened with Cody and Oba. Number 12 is El Grande Americano. Wade says he's got 100+ years of experience. He goes back with Cole says he thought Wikipedia would have more facts on this guy. He loads his mask and hits a few people with it. And then number 13 is the original El Grande Americano. Him and the other Americano do the Spider-Man meme, this time for real. And then they fight. They each try to remove each other's masks, but both are eliminated. Looking back, what the hell was this? Like, I don't know. I am so over the El Grande Americano thing.
I think a lot of people are. Yeah, and I'm glad Chad Gable's back, but I think I expected more out of this confrontation because you knew it was going to eventually happen, whether or not it was him coming back as El Grande or coming back as himself and whatever. But yeah, I expected more out of it.
If I'd prefer they would have just had Ludwig Kaiser unmask here or something, just get one of them of them out of there.
Yeah.
All right, number 14, Powerhouse Hobbs. Scratch that. It's Royce Keys. He comes in, he gives Damian Priest the British Bulldog running power slam, and then eliminates him. Royce and Cody have a face-off. The commentary tells us these two have history. Number 15 is Austin Theory, and he goes after Javon Evans. And, well, Mosley, take it away. Number 16.
All right, so I do have quite a bit of notes for the rest of this match. I'm not sure that I pointed out as many of the confrontations or the face-offs like you mentioned earlier, but I do have a fair amount of notes here. So Bronson Reed enters at number 16. He hits a tsunami on Javon Evans. Ilya Dragunov is 17. He chops everyone and levels Cody with a clothesline. La Parka is number 18. This is not the same La Parka that competed in WCW, apparently. Because when he first came out, I was like, holy shit, it's La Parka. What the hell? No, it's a completely different guy. They just like to use the same name down there in Mexico. Dragon Lee comes in at number 19. There are 8 men in the ring at this point, most of which are laying around and resting, waiting for their spots, etc. Same thing that we saw in the women's match early on. Logan Paul is number 20. He eats a world's strongest slam by Royce Keys. Keys is then eliminated by Bronson Reed. Theory hits a drop kick to La Parka on Reed's shoulders to take him out next. Number 21 is LA Knight.
Yeah.
And gets a huge pop. Starts slinging bombs at everyone, but gets triple teamed quickly by the Vision members. Theory charges Knight, but is thrown over the top by the Megastar, who drops Reed with a BFT and clotheslines him out next. So LA Knight's getting to shine here pretty good. He's getting to eliminate the Vision members. Yeah. Number 22 is Brock Lesnar. And he comes out with Paul Heyman by his side. Lesnar starts dishing out German suplexes, as expected. Javon gets an F5. Then Lesnar and Oba face off in the middle. So there's one of your face-offs. But unfortunately, we don't really see much out of it right at this very moment. The Miz is number 23. Lesnar eliminates somebody and Rey Fenix. I did not get who is number 24.
Number 24 is I got is Rey Fenix. You say number 23 was The Miz?
Number 23 was The Miz. Okay, so my notes are a little bit jumbled here then. The Miz comes out at number 23. Rey Fenix is number 24. And
Yes.
then Lesnar eliminates Rey Fenix and somebody else. I guess maybe The Miz. I don't know. Then Oba eliminates Lesnar. And this...
No, you got it the other way around.
Okay, who eliminated Lesnar? No,
That
Cody and LA Knight worked together to eliminate Lesnar. Why do I have Oba eliminates Lesnar? Who did
It's the other way
Oba
around.
eliminate? Lesnar eliminates Oba.
correct.
I might have been having some libations during this. They might have been kicking in during this part, ladies and gentlemen.
They're time
So-
released. Like
So Lesnar eliminates Oba Femi, and the man lasted a long time, but apparently he just ain't ready for the beast yet. All right, Jey Uso's in at number 5. Cody and LA Knight worked together to eliminate Lesnar. Jey is still making his way to the ring from the crowd, so Jey's music is still going on. The focus is not on what's going on in the ring, and this is when Lesnar gets eliminated. This is really weird timing here. Jey is in no hurry at all to get in this match. He even runs it back with the music when he gets in the ring, which I thought was stupid. I mean, come on, I'm over it. Number 26 is Roman Reigns. He gets a massive arena-wide pyro for his entrance. He faces off with Jey in the ring, asks Jey to run it back, but hits him with an uppercut when the music starts. Reigns starts dishing out Superman punches before spearing and tossing The Miz over the top rope. Number 27, Jacob Fatu. Cody tries to charge him through the middle rope but catches a right hand from Jacob. They continue fighting in the ring. Fatu hits a pop-up Samoan drop on Javon, who gets about 6 feet of airtime in this move. Roman and Jey hit a 1D on Cody. Number 28 is Penta. Everyone is hitting big moves in the ring. LA Knight hits a BFT on Reigns, then counters a Crossroads attempt into a DDT before being eliminated by Rhodes. Randy Orton is number 29. Hits a couple power slams, a double draping DDT to Penta and Jey, an RKO to Logan Paul, and then Penta. Gunther is number 30. So now we have all of our entrants have entered the match. His knee is still giving him trouble from his match earlier with AJ Styles. We now have our 9 final competitors left in the ring at this time. Javon goes for an OG cutter, but gets caught in an RKO and then eliminated by Orton. Gunther eliminates... Okay. Somebody? I got... my notes, Vic, say Gunther eliminates Gunther. Oh, man, them libations were really kicking in.
man, I have it. Gunther dumps, and then I forgot to put a name in.
Yeah, apparently he dumped himself. According to me, Gunther eliminated himself at this point. But no, Gunther eats an RKO, then gets double-teamed by Cody and Orton. Gunther moves to avoid a Cody cutter, which hits Orton instead. Drew McIntyre hits a Claymore on Orton, who is hanging on the ropes to eliminate him. So Drew McIntyre was not in this match, obviously. He comes out of nowhere. He hits a Claymore kick to Randy Orton, who's hanging on the ropes, and Randy Orton is eliminated. And I don't agree with these types of eliminations. Somebody out of the match, whether they're eliminated or not a part of it, should not be able to be there at all to assist in these in eliminating somebody. It shouldn't have counted, damn it. Roman Reigns eliminates Jacob Fatu and then Jey Uso. We're down to 4 now. Roman eliminates Logan Paul. Gunther eliminates Randy Orton. Gunther and Reigns are left. Gunther goes for the sleeper, but Reigns fights out and nearly eliminates Gunther. Reigns misses the Superman punch, gets hit by Gunther, who goes back to the sleeper again. Roman breaks the sleeper by running Gunther into the turnbuckle. He then hits a spear to Gunther and throws his ass over the top to win his second Royal Rumble. A massive citywide fireworks show, also with drones, closes out the show. And when I say massive, I mean this was millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of like a 10 or 15 minute long. It was a long time. They were shooting fireworks off from every building in the city. It was crazy. There were probably old people having heart attacks thinking they were under fire and, going to war. It was insane. But that is your Royal Rumble, and your winner is Roman Reigns. Slick Vic, your thoughts?
Match is all right. I'm not upset that Roman won, as I mentioned earlier with Liv, but I would have preferred someone new had won it. But there's a lot of questionable booking here with the eliminations. Like Brock's elimination. Why is he eliminated in the middle of the yeet, of Jey Uso's yeet entrance?
I think that had to be a mistake. That had to be like a mistimed. Yeah. It had to be.
At least the camera caught it, so they didn't have to go back and show a replay. Oh, by the way, guys, Brock Lesnar was eliminated while you were all eating.
Yeah.
Because you got a big name like Brock, and you're just gonna have that elimination just felt like background fodder.
Yeah.
I'm not mad that I'm not always mad when somebody not in the match interferes to eliminate somebody, but I'm so sick of the Cody Rhodes Drew McIntyre feud, and now it looks like they're gonna extend it here because Cody got eliminated by an outside Drew McIntyre. So I'm like, they're going to continue this feud now, aren't they? The Americanos don't give a shit. Yeah, I mean, what else did I've got some other stuff here. But there's some other good stuff. Like the Vision teaming up to get rid of Royce Keys was a good spot because they needed all of them to eliminate Royce. LA Knight tossing out the Vision though was cool. Good little redemption. Brock no-selling Ilya's chops and then just barking at him and throwing him out. Poor Ilya. Ray Phoenix got dumped like a jabroni. We talked about how this guy never wins anything. It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was the face-off between Roman and Cody. There's a face-off with Jacob and Roman. There's what do we got here? The OG Cutter to the RKO. Awesome. I think you mentioned he got like 6 feet up in the air or something.
Yeah.
That was awesome. That was cool. I'll give him that.
He got some serious airtime on that one, yeah.
And Gunther dumped Penta. That's the one. That's we're
okay.
Confused
Gunther,
about.
All right.
So, as much as I complain about some of the booking, again, I said the match is all right, but I think I preferred the women's Rumble match this year.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. I think it might have been better. What score did I give the women's Rumble? Ooh, a 4 out of 10. So apparently, according to the Gigawatt scale, it was not better. I gave the men's Rumble a 6 out of 10. So apparently, I liked it better. But again, those libations, they were running hard towards the end of this one. For build, gave it a 1, quality 1.5, memorable moments 1.5. There's some big moments in this match, I feel like, especially with Obafemi. He's just eliminating people left and right. Royce Keys making his debut here. They have the shot of Powerhouse Hobbs on the Titantron before he actually comes out. I thought that was neat.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on in this one. And apparently, with Gunther eliminating Gunther, that was a big moment. Yeah, according to me.
I will say this: that there was massive star power in both Rumbles, including this one.
Yeah,
Oba looked like Oba was the big standout. I feel as well, and I think he was also the Iron Man. They didn't give us a graphic like they did for Charlotte Flair.
He had to be. He lasted. He was definitely. He lasted a very long time in this one.
And Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we'll go into the surprises, I guess, when you're ready, but yeah. How do you feel about Roman winning?
Um, I'm okay with it. And as a matter of fact, Vic, who were your three picks to win this match? Slick Vic's picks. What were they?
Braun Breaker, Roman Reigns, and Jacob Fatu.
Okay. Whenever Braun Breaker came out, and by the way, because of that, you get a yeah, and we'll get to the next one here in just a second. But when Braun Breaker came out, and I thought he was one of the picks to win for sure, and gets dumped out, like gets attacked and dumped out immediately, I was like, uh-oh. I was like, this is the downfall of Slick Vic's picks right here. It's not happening for him tonight. But I was wrong. I was wrong, and you were right again, and you remain Mr. Perfect. By the way, Slick Vic, how did you like that Mr. Perfect art of yourself from the previous episode?
Absolutely perfect.
Got the yellow singlet and everything.
Good
Yeah.
work.
Good stuff.
Good work to Brad Buffer there.
Yeah, Brad, I mean, he always comes through, man. He always comes through. What a guy. What a guy. We're going to have to start paying him eventually. But yeah, there was your Royal Rumble, and you asked me, what do I think about Roman Reigns winning? I'm okay with it because I really hope that if he won, he would go for the World Heavyweight Championship. Because that's a belt that he's not won yet. And I think the dynamic would be better of him versus Punk. And I don't know. I was okay with it. I was okay with it. I can't really pick many other people that I would have rather won this. I mean, Braun Breaker obviously, like I said, would have been one of my top picks. But he can wait. There's nothing wrong with Braun Breaker waiting for his moment. It doesn't have to happen right now. He is pretty hot right now, but they don't have to pull the trigger on him right away. I think that he still has some stuff that he could work on to get to that point. So it's okay. There's always the chamber. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm okay with it. What about you?
Braun's time will come.
Yeah.
I'm indifferent. I don't hate Roman Reigns. There's quite a few people I know that are not on Team Roman.
Yeah.
But I don't mind the guy. I don't know if I want. I don't know at this point though. Do I necessarily want him to have another world title run? But
not for 1,000 days or whatever it was. No.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's undeniable that WWE was really popular and really hot, and they were making really good weekly television whenever Roman was the champion and whenever the Bloodline thing was going. Yeah. Ever since then, it's not been as hot. And
Roman Reigns will tell you that himself, too.
Yeah, well, he will. And he's right. He's absolutely right about that. I mean, it's undeniable. So I'm okay with him winning. We'll see what happens. Maybe he will win that championship, and maybe he'll have him another long title reign, or maybe he won't. We'll see. We also have Monday Night Raw to get to, so we'll figure out what happens there and talk about that. Speaking of which, Slick Vic, are you ready to get into some Monday Night Raw?
One last thing, we didn't go over surprises.
You're right. I'm glad you mentioned it. We talked about surprise entrants, as we did for the women.
We thought a certain someone was for sure going to come back to WWE.
Yeah, we did. I could have bet some serious money on it. So my three surprise entrants for the Royal Rumble were Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens, and Mr. Kennedy. And not a damn one of them showed up. So, yeah, that's all I got to say.
I remember saying Jericho, Mr. Iguana, and Dominic Mysterio.
Yep.
I got one of them. I got a reptile.
You got one of them right. So, yeah, and similarly to the women's, and I think maybe a little more than the women's, we had a few entrants into this Rumble that could be considered surprises. But by and large, there wasn't any huge pop. There wasn't any. I remember saying in the last show we did that Jericho will definitely be there because they have to have something big to happen. Or maybe we talked about that off air. We may have talked about that while the Rumble was going on, but like something big has to happen at this event to remember it. Sammy isn't winning the championship. AJ Styles, got beat by Gunther, and there's that. But what big thing can happen in the end to leave the people happy? And I guess that was Roman Reigns winning. Meh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think this will be remembered for AJ's last match.
Yeah. In the long run, it definitely will, yeah.
Yeah.
So, no Jericho. Not yet.
No Jericho.
We'll see what happens.
Maybe WrestleMania.
Could be. Yeah. Maybe WrestleMania. I thought this was a good place to do it, though. I don't know. Maybe he's just not, maybe the stars are just not aligned yet. Anything else you want to add about the Royal Rumble, Slick Vic?
Nope. I think that about sums it up. Royal Rumble 2026 is in the books, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. And we'll never watch it again. So moving on to Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw, which was yesterday. February 2nd, 2026.
Groundhog Day.
Groundhog. Screw that groundhog, man. I wish somebody'd shoot that groundhog. People are out here assassinating politicians. They need to assassinate that groundhog. Anyway, Monday Night Raw was live from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Show opens. We have a in-ring segment where Braun Breaker comes out. He trashes the announce desk. He grabs the mic. He calls out Adam Pearce. The Vision come out to calm Breaker down, to no avail. Paul Heyman says this is Adam Pearce's fault, and that Adam Pearce had to approve every visa to go to Saudi Arabia, so naturally he should know who the Masked Man was. Pearce comes out, says he doesn't know who the Masked Man was, but the last time a Masked Man showed up, it was Austin Theory. Pearce also says he's going to do Breaker a favor and let him keep his job after that piss-poor performance at the Rumble. And Breaker loses his mind. Almost falls on his face, jumping out of the ring to get to Pearce, but is stopped by security. Meanwhile, LA Knight's music hits, and he runs into the ring from behind, leveling the Vision members with a chair as Breaker looks on. Your thoughts on this opening to Monday Night Raw, Slick Vic?
Good stuff, man. I like Braun and I like LA Knight. Both were really good here. I also really liked some of the bits in the outside where after Braun flips the table over, I don't know if you caught this. Cole's like, "All right, I'm out." It's like, I swear he should have just like took his headset off and just left. Like, "All right, I'm out."
Yeah.
And then you can hear Breaker saying, "Give me a mic! Give me a mic!" I don't know if you remember this, but and you're forgiven if you don't. But Scott Steiner's first night into WWF, you hear him go, "Give me a fucking mic!"
Yep, that's what I was waiting for him to say.
Give me a fucking mic. And
yeah, we didn't get that. We got more of a "give me a mic, damn it."
Yeah. So yeah, and the Masked Man line from Pierce being Austin Theory was fun. But yeah, I enjoyed this bit. It was good stuff.
Do you have any theories on who the Masked Man was at the Royal Rumble?
Hmm. Oh man, I haven't really thought about that because it's just I was already like pissed off. Like, really, another masked man? It's not Seth Rollins, right?
I don't think
Is it going to be?
I don't think he moved like Seth Rollins, and he didn't really fit the build. I don't think it was Seth.
Yeah, I don't know yet, and I don't even want to speculate right now because I'm just kind of like, all right, great, another masked man.
Yeah,
Maybe
true.
maybe it's Jericho. Maybe it's Jericho.
I don't think he moved like Jericho either. He didn't look nothing like him. There's some people
Yeah.
theorizing that it was actually Adam Pearce himself. I don't know about that.
Okay.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Anyway, up next, we get a video package recapping the Royal Rumble, which makes the whole thing seem like it was a lot better than it actually was. Next up is a match between Javon Evans and El Grande Americano. A boring match that went way too long. The OG El Grande causes a distraction by coming out and allowing Javon to hit his finisher for the win. So, again, I guess they're building to El Grande versus OG El Grande, probably at Mania, but I wish they would have just brought back Gable as himself. That's my thoughts on that match.
I'm glad Gable is back. I don't know how much more I can care. I don't know how much more I care about this El Grande Americano nonsense, though. Maybe I'll warm up to this stuff in a couple weeks. We'll see, because Chad is back. We'll see. That's all I can say.
He's back, and I saw some pictures of him like working out and stuff before he came back. He's ripped, man. He looks awesome. And
yeah, I think
I got him doing
Corey
this goofy shit again.
Corey even said, like, this man's got muscles in places where most people don't have places.
Yeah. Doing a disservice to him. Hopefully they end it soon. After that match, Javon Evans won. I mentioned that. After that match, we have an in-ring segment. AJ Styles music hits. And Gunther comes out, smiling ear to ear. We see now the career killer moniker on the Titantrons. The crowd is chanting, "Fuck you, Gunther, you tapped out." Nothing is phasing this guy. Gunther starts talking in German, and Dragon Lee comes down and starts laying into him. Dragon goes for a kick on the outside, and Gunther blasts him in the head with the ring bell, then puts him in a sleeper hold. Officials attempt to break up the brawl, but Gunther grabs Dragon Lee from the inside of the ring. Dragon's on the outside, Gunther's on the inside. He reaches over the ropes and grabs him into a sleeper hold and holds him there while he's hanging on the ropes, which made for a crazy visual. And
That was the exact word. Great visual, yeah. Looked cold.
Yeah. So Dragon Lee is out. Gunther takes his leave. From that, we'll go to a couple more segments, then I'll get your thoughts, Slick Vic. Paul Heyman comes up to Adam Pearce backstage and asks him to book a match between Braun Breaker and LA Knight. Pearce says he can't do it because he escorted him out of the building. Escorted LA Knight out of the building, right? And Pearce says he then tells Heyman to tell Bronson Reed to get ready because he has a match tonight against Penta. All right. Up next, it seems like we're going to have a match. The War Raiders are in the ring. They're ready for a match, but then Oba Femi's music hits, and he marches down to the ring and destroys both of them. I'll pause there, Vic, to get your thoughts.
The Gunther trolling with AJ's entrance, fantastic. As I mentioned, I'm sorry I cut you off, but yeah, that was a great visual from Dragon Lee getting sleepered on the apron. Heyman's telling Pierce, like, don't forget which city you're in.
Yeah.
And then the crowd chants ECW. Pierce says FAFO.
Yeah.
But why book the War Raider? Why book the War Raiders to just get stomped out by Obafemi?
The Boar Raiders. That's what you just said.
That was a slip. I didn't. I get that the War Raiders haven't been used much recently, but there's got to be lower card talent than them to feed to Obafemi.
Yeah, I felt the same way, man, because they actually, I think the last time we saw them, they had a match for the tag team championships, which they obviously didn't win, but it was a great match. And they are impressive, and they should be used as top tier in the tag team division. Why have Oba Femi come out and just crush them? Like,
They could, yeah, they could have just booked a one-on-one match with Oba and Ivar, and maybe not 100% competitive match, but you can have Oba, win decisively.
yeah. Yeah, they just completely buried them by doing this, I feel like.
Yeah.
So I didn't like it.
Really questionable.
All right, so from that, we have a pre-recorded segment where Finn Balor says he has always given respect his whole career, everywhere he's been, but he realizes he is not getting it in return these days. He also mentions that he still has the World Heavyweight Championship in his sights. After that, the Bella Twins come down to the ring and announce they are entering the women's tag team division. So, Brie Bella's back for good. She wasn't just a surprise entrant into the women's Royal Rumble. The Bella Twins are back together. Then we get an awkward backstage segment with Burt. What's his name? So, moving on. Actually, it was kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie, but I wasn't even gonna note that backstage segment, and I knew that Slick Vic would catch me if I didn't, so I had to put something. But I love Otis, and I think he's hilarious. So, there's that. Any thoughts on these segments, Slick Vic?
Finn Balor video package was great, and I would love to see a rematch in Chicago this time. First, they had that match in Belfast. Now this time, let's have Punk have home field advantage. Either way, Punk is going to go over, but I still want to see it. Fuck the Bella Twins. At least they're heels, right? Are they right? Right?
I don't think they're heels anymore. I think that the crowd was booing Nikki during this because she had been a heel, but they were cheering Brie. And so I think them being together now puts them back on the side of the forces of good.
Oh God, I can't imagine them being cheered that much longer.
Can you imagine them being tag team champions? Because that's probably going to happen.
Oh God, I mean they were teasing Nikki to win the women's championship, and thank God that didn't happen. And I was not happy we had one Bella twin come back. Now we got the other one.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Who if they're baby faces, who are they going to feud with? The Judgment Day? They're going to feud with the Kabuki Warriors?
Yeah, I mean they've got some people to feud with here. Sure.
I don't want to see any of those matches. But anyways,
I don't really either, but here's the thing. I think that when Nikki came back by herself and we kept asking why is she here, beating her doesn't matter because she sucks. That's all true, especially in today's climate. Like, she's not comparable to anybody. But as a unit, the Bella Twins together, they were a lot more popular than either of them were separately. So I don't know. I'm not as negative about it as I would think I would be.
All right. Well, I'll give him a chance.
All right.
I always do. And Burt, what's his name? I don't know who this guy is.
It's like Hirschner or something. He's a comedian. He's got a new show on Netflix. It's pretty popular right now. It's actually pretty funny. I watched a couple episodes. Anyway, but that's what that segment was about. It was basically to name drop his Netflix show and get that some publicity. Next up, we have a match, Bronson Reed versus Penta. All right, so Bronson Reed dominates the first few minutes. That was my first note. He actually dominated this entire match. Penta did make a comeback at one point. He hit a flipping attack to Reed on the outside. We had to sit through a lengthy commercial break. Then we come back to Reed in control again. He continued to beat down Penta. He picked up a few near falls. Penta finally dodged a senton and starts to get a little bit of a comeback again. He gets a nice springboard tornado DDT on Bronson Reed for a 2 count. That was probably the best spot of the entire match. Slick Vic, I loved that. He hit it so well. And Bronson Reed sold it really well, too. The Vision finally attempt a distraction, but eat kicks from Penta on the apron, followed by a splash to both on the outside. Now we're back in the ring, where Bronson Reed hits a jagged edge followed by a tsunami, but the ref is down outside the ring. Reed goes out and grabs a chair. LA Knight shows up, hits a BFT on Reed, who had dropped the chair, and so he hits a BFT directly on the chair to Bronson Reed. The Vision members take after Knight as he runs away. The ref comes back to life, and Bronson Reed gets counted out. Your winner, Penta, by countout. In-ring segment after this. Dom's back. He introduces Liv Morgan, who says she don't know which championship she will go for at WrestleMania, but she knows that we will have a new Women's World Champion tonight, and introduces big, sexy Raquel Rodriguez to the ring. Raquel asks why Liv eliminated her at the Rumble. She tells Liv to stay in the back during her match, and that was pretty much that. Now, any thoughts, Slick Vic, before we move on to the Women's World Championship match?
Well, I thought that Penta versus Bronson match was actually decent. You know, I had fun with this one. Penta's so damn charismatic. He's exciting to watch. He's just got so much swagger to his moves. Even something like the tornado DDT he does. It's not like super fast or smooth or anything, but it looks cool.
Yeah.
That power bomb to the power slam that Bronson Reed hit, smooth for a guy who's not really smooth in the ring.
I've seen that move before. I've seen somebody on the indies do that move, and it looks really cool.
Yeah.
So he totally stole that. But yeah, I did like that move as well.
You know what I would have loved to see in this match? I would have loved to see Bronson Reed take a Mexican destroyer. Yeah. Like, does he have the agility to do it?
Yeah. Good question.
You know, I was so sick of the Vision's feud with LA Knight, but since LA Knight's been gone for a while, it's good to have him back, and I'm excited to see him. Maybe the Vision will get their comeuppance this time, because they were just beating on LA Knight weekly. Yeah. So, yeah. Great to see Dom back. The neck tattoo is getting wilder.
It's a bit much.
It's like, geez. Oh, man. But yeah. What's it called?
So you like the match between Bronson Reed and Penta, but Bronson Reed beat the shit out of him the entire match.
Well, was it really that one-sided?
It was fairly one-sided. Yeah.
Maybe it's a little bias on my part from enjoying Penta so much.
I do. I like Penta too. I mean, he's senior Monday night. Yeah. But I thought it was kind of, I mean, he's fighting Bronson Reed, for God's sakes, but still, he beat the shit out of him.
Maybe I just had, not libations, but I had, Cero Miedo or something going on through my head.
Yeah, there you go. I'll buy that for $1.
All right, please proceed.
All right. Women's World Championship match, and this is actually the, I don't know if you'd call it the main event, but it was definitely the last match of the night. Philadelphia Street Fight, Women's World Title, Stephanie Vaquer, the champion, versus Raquel Rodriguez. Do not like the new music for Stephanie Vaquer. First few minutes is Raquel powering through Vaquer. She hits a nice suplex slam, bouncing Vaquer off the top rope and gets a near fall. I think the announcer said it was like a jackhammer almost. Kinda. Vicaire makes a comeback, hits a flying attack to the outside, grabs a Slim Jim table from under the ring, but Raquel is back on the attack before Stephanie can set it up. Raquel sets up the table herself, catches Stephanie off a Hurricane Rana, and power bombs the champ through it. In and out of a commercial break, Raquel is still on the offensive, but Vicaire gets a kendo stick and starts wearing Raquel out. Vicaire and Raquel are such similar names that I'm sitting here like, did I say the right name just then? So if I screw up, my bad. We get more back and forth on the outside. Raquel lawn darts Stephanie into the post, but only manages to get a 2 count out of it. The Devil's Kiss is countered as Raquel stands up and launches Stephanie off her shoulders into the ropes. Vicaire hits a super kick, gets a 2 count. Raquel hits Stephanie with a trash can, gets a 2 count. Raquel tosses multiple chairs in the ring, catches Stephanie off a cross body, and hits a fall-away slam into the chairs. Vicaire makes a comeback and hits the Devil's Kiss onto a chair, then on the outside atop the steel steps. Vicaire puts a trash can on top of Raquel, who is sitting in the corner, and hits a running double knee into it. Gets a 2 count. Raquel is back up, hits a big boot into the trash can, into Vicaire's face. Gets a 2 count. Vicaire thwarts distractions from Liv and Roxanne and hits a Hurricane Rana on Raquel through a table in the ring, followed by a corkscrew splash for the win. Post-match, Liv hits a sneak attack on Vicaire and poses with the title before throwing it down on top of the champ. All right, so, Slick Vic, you mentioned, because when I was watching Raw, and I was watching it live Monday, I think I messaged you and said something about Stephanie Vicaire's new music. That's about when I cut it off, because I had to go to bed. I was really late trying to get everything in, so I finished Raw today. But you had mentioned that it was a great match. I want to get your thoughts on this match first.
Okay. Well, I'll start with the bad. Stephanie's new theme does indeed suck. Okay. Raquel is leveling up in my eyes. She really brought the intensity here, so big ups to Big Sexy for that. Raquel's clotheslines look great. Those back elbows, though, not digging it. The springboard jackhammer was great. Even Corey said, like, Tully Blanchard meets Goldberg. The attack with the hood of the announce table looked good coming from Raquel. But Stephanie brought it too. Like, she took it to Raquel with the kendo sticks, the super kicks, the beefy, spicy Slim Jim tables. The back-to-back Devil's Kisses was great. I like how Stephanie even sold her knees when she did it on the steel steps. That running knees to Raquel with the trash can in her head looked great. Really, really good back and forth action. I felt like this was a fight, despite, especially the way Raquel brought the intensity. So good ending, despite the interference. I was thinking Raquel was actually going to put Stephanie through the table and win it. My only complaints are I would have trimmed about 5 minutes from this match and trimmed a few spots and those damn commercial breaks.
Okay. Yeah, and good points there at the end, especially because really for me, Vic, this was a wild match. There was a lot going on. Lots of weapons, lots of furniture, lots of big moves, lots of action. I think the problem is that there was way too much of it. And there was so much of it that it killed that suspense of disbelief for me. Because there were so many spots where one of these gals, and, you know, Stephanie's the champion and everything, but she's significantly smaller than Raquel, so I can believe that Raquel could probably take a lot more punishment than Stephanie Vicaire, at least in terms of size. But there were so many spots with these weapons and things going on that, like, one of them would hit the other with a trash can right in the face, or big boot to the trash can in the face, or, like I said, the Devil's Kiss onto the steel chairs, and then taking her outside and doing it onto the steel steps, and still can't put her away. Like, every time they would do a big spot, they would almost immediately pop right back up and just start fighting again and doing something else. It's like they tried to cram way too much into this time, and I don't know how long this match was, but they tried to cram so much into it that it made it not believable at all for me. I mean, like after the first 3 or 4 minutes, I was like, this is getting ridiculous. So, having said that, I just think it killed it for me. The weapons were way overused. As I had mentioned, I just can't see either of them popping right back up and getting into a string of offense after taking some of the hits that they took. So, like you said, if they had trimmed about 5 minutes off of it, if they had taken some more spots out of it, some more of those weapon spots especially, sure, would have been much better, much better. But it made it so much less believable for me the way they did it.
I think all these run of the mill SmackDown matches had me yearning for something a little more spicier.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that because the tables have Slim Jim on it.
Yeah, they are spicy.
But I wanted something a little more, a little more bite to it.
That table that they set up at the end, and they were like, they set up the table close to the turnbuckle, so you knew somebody was going through it, and they were countering each other on the turnbuckle. You thought Raquel was going to hit a Tahana bomb at one point, and then you thought Vicaire was going to do something, and neither of them really did anything until ultimately Vicaire hits the Hurricane Rana move and puts Raquel through it. Prior to that happening, Raquel Rodriguez had got kicked or something and rolled onto the table, and you could see it bend right in the middle, so obviously gimmicked that it was my first thought was this is one of those Slim Jims you find at the gas station that's been there way too long, and it's gray and soft and shitty. There was no snap to that Slim Jim whatsoever. Even when she went through it, she didn't break it through all the way. She didn't hit it right. So, they need to figure something out there. But yeah, I just thought it was way too much. Way too much. After this... Yeah, go ahead.
Can I say one thing? I have a quick little... I wrote this down. I had quick little fantasy booking for the women's match at WrestleMania, where I was thinking, why not have Stephanie defend the title against all 3 Judgment Day women? Because right now you can clearly tell that Liv and Raquel are going to be on the outs real soon, and just find a way to worm Roxanne Perez in. And I don't know. I think that would make for some good storytelling. You got 3 members of the Judgment Day who now hate each other, and then you trying to beat Stephanie Vicaire for the title. I don't know. That was just what I was thinking of earlier. I doodled that down in my notes. I'm like, why not have the 4-way? Go ahead.
So what if, to that point, what if Liv picks Stephanie as her opponent, and then Raquel wins Elimination Chamber and decides she wants to pick Stephanie as her opponent? And then not to be... Are they able to do that? I'm not sure. Because...
That'd be interesting.
And not to be left out, then here comes Roxanne. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Because I figured, either way, Raquel's going to go up to Pierce next week and being like, I had that match won, but Liv got in the way. I want another match or something like that.
She did tell her not to come out.
Yeah. And what did she do? She came out.
She came out. Both of them came out, actually. But yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Good points there. That would be very interesting.
I kind of like your idea too, where let Raquel win Elimination Chamber and insert herself into that feud.
Yeah, but is it nobody's ever done that before. Somebody wins the Rumble, they pick the belt, and then the winner of the Elimination Chamber is just automatically going for the other championship. So, I don't know. What if? That would be cool. That would be a nice little swerve.
That's what you do. You don't have Liv Morgan pick a challenger until after Elimination Chamber or something.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that'd be good. That would make sense. And then she
said she's going to SmackDown. I highly doubt she's just going to go up there and challenge Jade. No way.
Why would she challenge? Why would anybody challenge Jade? Jesus Christ.
Well, something's going to happen on SmackDown. There's going to be a face-off of some kind.
It's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be a better watch than this past week's, I'm sure. Because now we're in the fallout period from Royal Rumble, so
if Liv goes, she better have Big Sexy with her. And I don't know if Big Sexy wants to be there.
Yeah, I don't know. She might have Roxanne with her, though. They've been teaming up here lately, so that would make sense. We'll see what happens. We got one more segment to go for Monday Night Raw. This is going to close out the show. We see Roman Reigns show up in a Range Rover, and he heads out to the ring. Camera follows him all the way down there. He talks to the crowd for a while about his history in Philly. Then he asks which title he should go for. The crowd is heavily in favor of a Roman versus Punk showdown, and that's when the World Champion's music hits. Punk heads to the ring and addresses Finn Balor first, which Reigns finds disrespectful. They go back and forth here for a while in what is actually a fantastic promo. Ultimately, with Reigns deciding that he will face CM Punk in the main event at WrestleMania. So, Vic, while I was doing my notes for this, I was actually writing down a lot of what they were saying. And then I realized I can't sit here and read all this. Like, this is just too... This is something, ladies and gentlemen, that you just need to go listen to. Go watch yourself. They probably have it on YouTube by itself, so it's not like you have to fast forward through Raw or anything to see it. But it was a really good promo. They were taking some pretty heavy shots at each other. Ultimately, Roman said that he hated CM Punk, and he's always hated CM Punk, which I find is a little bit odd. Like, I understand why Seth Rollins... it's sort of like the whole thing that Seth Rollins was doing with him. But all of a sudden, Roman Reigns hates him too. And he mentioned that thing about the podcast and it made his life difficult. What was that? I wasn't familiar with what he was talking about at all.
The only thing I can think of is... Well, first of all, have you heard that podcast?
No, I didn't know what he was talking about.
When Punk left 10 years ago, he showed up on... actually, it was 12 years ago now. He showed up on Colt Cabana's podcast and aired all his grievances. And there was like this feud he had with the Shield, and all the backstage agents one by one just kept coming up to Punk telling him, "Hey, remember, you got to make Roman look strong."
Oh yeah, okay.
Like one by one, like, "Hey, remember, Punk, Roman's got to look strong." And then 5 minutes later, somebody else would come up, "Hey, remember, Roman's got to look strong." And that kind of became a thing. I didn't think it was that detrimental to Roman's career, but
maybe because I could see something like that turning the fans against him. That's sort of like breaking kayfabe, because that would then turn the fans against him and make it obvious that they're trying to cram Roman down everybody's throat at the time, and nobody was feeling Roman at the time. He even said the reaction that he got by winning that Rumble 10 years ago was not the same as the one that he got from winning it last night. Which it wasn't. They booed the shit out of him when he won the Rumble.
Right.
10 years ago, so.
I saw this one meme earlier today where Punk's like, I brought you into the WWE when I brought the Shield in. Technically, in that podcast, Punk did not want Reigns as the third member of the Shield. He wanted Chris Hero, but that was vetoed in favor of Roman Reigns.
Who the hell is Chris Hero?
He briefly had a run in NXT under the name Cassius Ohno.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But anyways, all I have in my notes for this is intense fucking promo. Go watch it, because I can't do it justice either. It was so damn good. It was...
Yeah.
They were throwing bombs left and right at each other, and it connected. It was good. It was really good, effective. There was one line I remember where like Roman's like, "You're a visitor on my show," or I'm sorry, Punk said he's Roman's a visitor on my show,
Yeah.
and something it's they like
He's like, this is Raw, this is Netflix. I'm the champion here. I run things here, and they both talked about how they've beat the shit out of Drew McIntyre in the past. So like, you don't want to fight him. We've both beat the shit out of him over and over and over, just burying Drew.
I was gonna say they totally buried Drew McIntyre in this promo.
Yeah,
like, you don't want to wrestle me? Go challenge Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, that's kind of what's cool about it, because I think that this, I mentioned it earlier, I would be more interested in a Punk versus Roman feud, and that's what we're getting, and this promo just reaffirmed that I think it's going to be good. I couldn't have said the same thing if Roman had chose to go for the other belt, and plus he's had that belt, and he even mentioned it during this promo. He's like, do I want to go for the belt that I made, or this? And I'd like to see him with a different championship too, if he wins, which he probably will, but remains to be seen. But that was a night
2 main event.
I would think so. Yeah, I would think this would go on night 2, because I think it's going to be, at least right now, it's just based on that promo, it's the biggest thing at WrestleMania so far, in my opinion. And I don't know what's going to top it, because there's no other big feuds going on, really. And then, of course, with the WWE Championship, what would be a bigger feud than this with that promo? What could Drew McIntyre do, and with who, to make it a bigger event? And I know, like, you're supposed to look at it like not 1 and not 2 main events should be looked at in the same light. But, I mean, not 2 main event closes the show. So...
Yeah. I don't think they can top this. I think this is the best thing they can do.
Yeah.
Is Roman and Punk. My prediction for the other night's main event is still going to be a 3-way with Jacob, Drew, and Cody.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right. I don't know if I want to see that, though. I think I would rather just see Jacob versus Drew for the title. I don't know if Cody needs to be a part of it, but maybe that would boost the interest. So
right, yeah, yep. A lot of possibilities.
A lot of possibilities, a lot of libations, a lot of things going on, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of Monday Night Raw, and that will bring us to a gong that I had the volume turned down. There we go. Now I can hear it. All right. The end of the show. So, Royal Rumble, to recap, I probably will never watch it again, but it was AJ Styles' last match. If you want to see AJ Styles get choked out, then go watch that part of it. The rest of it, whatever. But definitely go watch the promo. I think out of everything that we covered here, and this is another weird thing too, Vic, I look forward to the angles and the backstage stuff and the in-ring segments that people have more than I do the matches now. When they're having a match, Javon Evans versus whoever, and going way too long, I'm like, just get through this so Paul Heyman can come out and say something stupid and it can be interesting. And that's kind of lame, but that's where I'm at with it. And again,
I'm with you. The 3-hour shows make this a problem.
Yeah, for sure. Because you can tell they just give way too much time to matches that they shouldn't be giving way too much time to. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen, and that is your episode this week, Wrestling with Power. If you haven't, go on over to facebook.com wrestling with power. Follow us on there where we are live right now every Tuesday night, unless otherwise noted. Over on our YouTube page, youtube.com/@wrestlingwithpower, where you can watch and listen to our episodes, and Spotify, just search Wrestling with Power. We're right there. Got the cool little logo, as you can see here, with our little wrestling guy and all that stuff. And all of our artwork and our new theme song, all provided by the great Brad Buffer, thanks to him. But follow us on all our socials, and we'll see you next time. Stay powerful, and Vic,
I wish you all the best in your future endeavors.
goodbye, everybody.